Hello and welcome back. Before we get into the mechanics of our psychological blueprint today, I have a pretty intimate question for you. I want you to be perfectly honest with yourself about your life right now. Think about it for a second. Is there a relationship you've completely outgrown? One of those situations where deep down you know it's just not right for you anymore, but for some reason you just can't bring yourself to let it go. It's that visceral feeling of gripping the steering wheel so tight your knuckles literally turn white. Meanwhile, there's this quiet little voice inside whispering, but what if there's nothing better out there? What if this is actually all there is? And honestly, here's the real emotional gut punch we need to unpack. You aren't holding on because you don't know better. You absolutely know better. But every single time you even entertain the idea of releasing it, something just tightens up inside you, right? Now, people on the outside might just label you as stubborn. But let's be real. Stubborn is a lazy word. It totally misses the underlying mechanics. You hold on because there is a hidden psychological terror keeping you glued to the spot. A terror that, well, this is it. We call this the scarcity paradox. Section 1, the survival architecture. So we really need to reframe how we view this Taurus energy. It is not just a quirky set of personality traits. It's a fundamental psychological architecture built entirely around physical security. And honestly, in a world that is incredibly unpredictable as ours, this is a massive gift. It's what makes you the incredibly dependable person everyone calls when their life is falling apart. But in the background, your mind is doing something highly specific. It treats everything you currently possess, your relationships, your job, your morning routine, as subconscious proof that you are safe. Which brings us to a pretty crucial realization. When those foundational things are threatened in any way, your grip tightens. And it's not you being dramatic. Losing a partner doesn't just feel like a sad run-of-the-mill breakup. On a deeply primal level, it feels like you are losing your safety itself. You're tightening your grip out of a biological, hardwired survival fear. Section 2, the relationship tension. Now, this paradox becomes downright agonizing when we look at how gripping something out of fear actually ends up destroying it. Here's how the scarcity loop plays out in a relationship. First, you love this person, but you're terrified of losing them, so you hold tighter and demand constant reassurance. But here's the thing, no human being can carry the immense weight of being your entire sense of safety. So step 2, naturally, they pull away just to get some air. Step 3, that sudden distance confirms your absolute worst fear. And step 4, because you're terrified, you grip even harder. It's an exhausting cycle. The heartbreaking reality is that the very thing you are desperately trying to protect slowly suffocates in your grip. And whether it's a partner pulling away, or maybe a bank account you obsessively hoard because of past trauma, the underlying anxiety never actually leaves. Why? Because the security was never really about the external thing in the first place. The money, the partner, they were just stand-ins. Section 3, the practical shift. So how do we actually fix this? How do you release this grip without feeling like you're just free-falling into total chaos? Well, the core healing realization is this. True stability, the kind of rock-solid stability that can never, ever be taken away from you, is completely internal. It was never external to begin with. Let's contrast these two mindsets for a second. Think about someone staying in a soul-sucking 12-year career just because it's predictable. The familiar feels safe, even when it is actively destroying their peace of mind, right? Leaving feels terrifying. But healing doesn't mean you just recklessly quit your job and jump into chaos. The practical shift here is trusting your internal resilience. It's about looking at your own proven track record of surviving, rebuilding, and creating stability over and over again in the past. I want you to let this question really sink in. What would I do if I genuinely trusted that I could land on my feet? Just asking yourself that one question shifts the locus of control entirely away from your partner or your horrible boss or your bank account and brings it right back inside to your own inner knowing. It is completely transformative. Section 4, the Taurus Transformation. Imagine what a healed version of this energy looks like. We're talking about a person who actually practices trusting their own ability to be okay. Someone who can love a partner deeply while remaining completely whole without them. When you release that background fear, all that exhausting vigilance turned to this massive wave of freed-up energy. You stop protecting from a place of lack, and you start building from a place of pure abundance. Your legendary loyalty, it stops being a cage that traps you and becomes a genuine, beautiful gift. Your stubbornness becomes a strategic anchor, And most importantly, clinging out of fear transforms into staying by choice. You become incredibly magnetic simply because you're no longer trying to hold the whole universe together by force. Before we wrap up, I want to leave you with a challenge for the week. Look at your life and identify a habit or a situation that you are holding on to out of fear rather than a genuine, empowered choice. You don't have to blow your life up and let it go right this second. Just look at it and ask yourself, am I keeping this because it's actually right for me, or am I just terrified of the empty space it would leave behind? Facing that honest realization isn't a loss, guys. It's literally the beginning of your freedom. Thank you so much for joining me today, and please don't forget to subscribe to our channel, One Quiet Win.